Welcome back to Garage Key. In this episode I'll be modifying a slide hammer straight out of the box, and I'll be working on that special turbo carry diff that I have for my truck. Enjoy. And it looks like it's going to have to be modified straight out of the packet, so what's unusual about that? Alright, so I bought this slide hammer puller set from Astro products, and it was great for removing the shafts from the rear diff. However, it has a problem, has a big problem, and that's this. Whenever you slide it, even just gently, it gets locked. You can't undo the bastard. So I've tried bashing it on the floor to try to get this hole to open up, but it just won't. So I'm gonna die grind it. Just open up this edge a little bit so that it doesn't get locked on the ball. I'm going to spray on a little bit of this cutting oil just for kicks. I don't know, probably doesn't need it, but anyway. That's probably all she needs. Let's try it now. Fixed it. Like everything I buy, it needs fucking modifying straight out of the box. Alright, now I have proof of concept. I'm just going to round off this edge here so I don't cut myself on it. It's quite sharp. Away. Now it's full of metal shavings, so I'm just going to spray some parts cleaner in there to clean it up. Don't particularly want all of that shrapnel floating around there. Give it a clean. Good. Excellent. Let's try it out. Alright, let's give this a good old. And it's not locking anymore. Perfect. Fixed. This is a diff housing from a DB52T TURBO truck. So it has the big center. This is the center of a DA32W every landy. I've already pulled it all apart, got the shafts out, got the bearings off. Bearings were absolutely rooted. This stuff, brakes, not reusing those. Probably reuse these. Not reusing these. The springs, I'm redoing all of the springs, so that most of that's junk. Going to replace this brake line. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get it to come undone because this side was really tight, so I just ordered a new one. It was like $5 or something, so not a problem. Also got a new hose to run from here to the chassis. So yeah, that pipe will run from here through to there. This has got a system where only one brake line runs from the front to the rear, and then inside this cylinder, it plumbs the brake fluid from here back into here, and that goes to the other side. Not ideal system, but it will work. Now I've decided I'm not going to rebuild that diff. I'm just going to unwrap it and put it in here. Yeah, so we're just going to put it in as it is. But I've ordered a whole bunch of, well, new bearings, obviously, and things. And the idea was that I was going to rebuild this as its own diff. But what I figured out is that if I actually take all the components out of this diff, the one that's in the truck, the internal components are all the same. At the time of recording this, I thought they were all the same, but they're actually not. There are two shafts that are present in DB52Ts, one for NA and one for turbo, but sometimes the NA shaft made it into a turbo diff. It would appear, I've looked through a lot of part numbers, and that's the conclusion that I've come to. That it seems to be a little bit random, but that might have been a typo on the website that I checked the part numbers on, or whatever. But yeah, just be careful if you're going to do this conversion. I'd pull apart what you have before committing to, oh, I don't need any extra bits, because you might. So the things like, what did I need? What did I need out of there? The shafts, for instance. I'm not sure how good these shafts are. So I'm going to pull that one apart and see if they're better. This one I nicked. Now, general consensus is that that will not matter. I measured it with a micrometer and it's 0.2 of a millimeter deep. So that's not going to make any difference at all. However, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So if I have a better one, I'll use it. Things like the brakes, the backing plates, both backing plates on this. This is one backing plate. As you can see, she's a bit rusty and not very nice. But the other side was all, well, it was a piece of shit, so I threw that away. So I've only got one backing plate, which means that I can use one off my truck. I can confirm that all of the brake parts on a carry are exactly the same. However, do be careful if you're messing around with Everys, because there are different rear brake setups on those. That doesn't apply here though. That will save me several $100s, so we're going to do that. So at the moment I'm waiting for parts, and kind of that's about it. Next step in rebuilding this diff is to remove the oil seals and the oil seal protector. Now I looked on the internet to try to find out how to do that, and there's anything from use a screwdriver to use the correct tool. I went to my local Astro products and they didn't even have anything that was remotely like the original correct tool, so I thought I'd make something, but that didn't work, so I'm using a slide hammer. This attachment on the slide hammer, and just going to go push down as much as I can on there, and there she is, popped straight out. Not a scratch, no trouble. The other side was actually a lot more difficult. It didn't want to come out at all. This one looks new. That's that. Straight out with a slide hammer. Just giving it a bit of a clean up. There's lots of little bits of metal and shit around. I'm not sure they're already on the rag or they're actually from in here. Kind of actually seems like they're from in here. Yes, it does have that feeling about it. Have you noticed how much I've been clearing my throat? I was being attacked by like hay fever or something, or some kind of cold that had me for like weeks. So yeah, sorry about that. I can't really edit it out. And you go on there. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to crack this. As you can see, I got the center out. I had to stop that video because YouTube isn't ready for the language I was using. That was really in there. How much junk is in here? Quite a bit. Whoa. Or just lumps of sealer. Like, oh no, there's a bit of metal in there. Oh yeah. There's a big bit. See that? Just floating around inside. Don't know what it's off. Probably off that center. Alright. Might go in there with a magnet, actually. See how much shit we drag out. Oh yeah. There's quite a bit of it. You can see that or not. Pretty terrible. It's funny actually, because I was worried about leaving these ends off for so long, but well, with the state of the inside of this, it would made no difference. I was worried about a little bit of dust. This is full of metal shards. Much worse. I don't understand that. The drain plug in this is actually higher than the lowest. It's not the lowest point, which is weird. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Because I would have thought that you'd want the drain plug to be the lowest point so that any metal or anything that was in there would fall out. But no, it's actually quite a bit higher than the lowest point. Some more of this shit in here. So mostly new parts coming for this, so it should be good when I'm done. Still pulling metal out of here though. Little flakes of metallic garbage. Yeah, look at it now. Yuck. More and more and more. The more I spray degreaser in there, the more metal flakes are coming out. There's a lot of it. Like, a lot of it. Kind of. And it's all steel. It's all sticking to this magnet. All that shit. Terrible. I'm glad I'm getting it out though. Don't want that in my gears. Oh, look at that. That's all fresh stuff. Wow. All shards of metal. Jesus, what'd they do in here? Get more? Is it possible there's more? There is. There's more. There's like a baffle in here. I don't know if I can show you. It's like a baffle in here and it's just metal. Do a 360. Do a backflip. Alright. This is a baffle. And in behind here, where they've welded it on, they haven't, like, it's not, what's the word? They haven't filled in the gap. So there's just like the seam, there's a seam in behind this baffle, and the seam's just full of shards of metal. So when I was running the magnet in here like this, difficult to do. So many things happening at once, holding lights and tripods and shit. I was just pulling, it's clean now, but yeah, before I was pulling bits of metal and shit out of there. Alright, well, it's clean now. And that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave a comment, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Later.